Hello, friends, and welcome back to the show. It has been a minute since I've been here, and I'm so grateful to be back here with you. Welcome to today's live level up conversation. Let's get started.
Welcome to Level Up with Winnie Sun. Award-winning financial pro. Get ready. Level Up with Winnie Sun.
Well, hello, friends, and welcome back to the show. It is wonderful to be here back with you the first week of October. For those of you who are brand new, I'm Winnie, your host, an award winning financial pro, a Forbes contributor, and a CNBC council member. And we are streaming here live on many different social media platforms. So definitely jump in, introduce yourself. It's great to be here with you. We've only got less than 10 minutes less for the financial markets before the market closes. The Dow is currently down 138 points. Nasdaq is down, unfortunately, down 269 points currently. Doesn't look like it's getting much better anytime soon. And the S&P 500 is also down 51 points. Now, we do know that there's going to be some discussions this week. We're, of course, paying attention to the Federal Reserve and Jerome Powell, but I'll bring you that information as we get more later this week. But I want to share with you some of the big financial news this week, some business news. I think might be interesting for you to get a scope of some of the things that are still on our radar. And of course, we can't have a discussion about trends and important topics without discussion and AI. Now, but today we're not talking about ChatGPT. We're actually going to be talking about Microsoft's Copilot because they're actually getting a complete reboot with some of they're adding some new features. Now, I want to share this with you. This is an article by Tom Warren on The Verge talking about how Microsoft has overhauled their Copilot. As you know, this is sort of like their version of ChatGPT that many of you enjoy. Well, Copilot is adding some new features, including voice and vision features, which is going to make it, they say, a little bit more personalized as your AI assistant. I don't know about you, but I think it'd be wonderful to have an AI assistant that could do even more than, just type of an email. But we're in small steps, right? This is like the next phase of that industrial revolution. Now they're saying users can interact with Copilot using not only voice commands, like you can talk to it just like you would talk to a regular person. I haven't tested this. If you have, let me know. Has your experience been positive? Do you feel like it works well? But they're saying that this AI can also visually interpret content from websites and can offer insights and recommendations to you as well. So this new interface was, of course, inspired by Inflection's AI Pi assistant. The features sort of a more user-friendly, your buddy, your assistant, sort of a card-based design, really tailored to your needs based on the conversation history that you have with it. So they're saying some of these voice features will allow real-time interaction with Copilot, which will include interruptions, and users can even choose from 4 different voice options. I can see how that could be helpful for some people. For me, I'm not sure. That I feel like would actually drive me a little crazy because I would just want them to give them the instructions. Maybe typing it would be a little bit easier for me. But let me know if you're different. Like, would you prefer to have that conversation? I can certainly see this application work very, very well for example, the senior market. Like my mom, I think she would enjoy talking to someone and having someone do things for her rather than having to go through the process of typing it in. Now, Copilot Vision, though, allows AI to analyze and respond to the visual data that they're seeing on screen, which enhances, of course, web browsing and those online shopping experiences, right? So they could see the item, could tell you how much it costs, the reviews, and so much more. But there's also this thing called Copilot Daily, which is going to provide people with audio summaries of the news and the weather. And they're going to be partnering with, they're saying, trusted resources such as Reuters and the Financial Times. So these updates are going to be now available across many of their platforms, including mobile, web, their Windows app as well. And they're saying that Copilot Voice is going to launch first in English speaking countries, right? So let me know how you feel about it. Have you used Copilot? Have you noticed these features? And if you have you compared this to ChatGPT? Really curious about how you've experienced that. And I would say a big welcome, of course, to Joshua. I see chat. I see CrossX Fighter joining us on YouTube Live. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your comments. Yeah, I had to take a couple days. We were so busy, and honestly, I just had so much other work that I couldn't jump in. So it's great to be back here with In the Loop. Not in the loop, level up. Okay, maybe I need a few more days off, but nonetheless, we are here back on Level Up. All right, let's continue on the topic of AI though. And I want to talk to you about what's happening here in California. Now, this is being reported by CBS News, talking about how California Governor Gavin Newsom has, believe it or not, vetoed the first in nation AI safety bill. Now, this might raise a few eyebrows. You're like, what? He vetoed it? He didn't sign it? Why did this happen, right? Well, get this. This is shared by CBS News as well as Associated Press, talking about this new bill that they introduced that would have the first AI safety regulations for large models here in the United States. The bill was originally aimed to regulate AI models, those that cost over $100 million to develop, with certain safety protocols and, of course, whistleblower protections for workers to be able to speak up. But the governor argued that this bill, unfortunately, had to be vetoed because it was overly restrictive. And if it were to take place, that it would actually stifle innovation, as it didn't really differentiate between high and low risk AI applications. And of course, that was necessary. So the decision sort of marks a victory for tech companies, especially here in California. Many tech giants, of course, were a little concerned, but now they're breathing a little sigh of relief, saying that okay, this is good. And some startups as well in this space, as they were opposed to this measure, citing concerns that it would actually hurt the tech industry, tech hub here in California. Now, despite the veto, though, Governor Newsom did say that a partnership with AI experts was going to be very important to explore other alternative guardrails for AI technology to make sure that people feel safe and, of course, their privacy issues and everything else. Now, interesting enough, I thought I'd share this with you. Supporters, though, like Elon Musk, actually believe that the bill would have increased transparency, while other critics, including politicians such as Nancy Pelosi, said that it would actually deter AI investment. And so they just wanted to wait a little bit more and work on this a little bit more before it was approved. So, of course, this decision to veto does signal ongoing debate about the topic of AI oversight, as well as, just the fact is that the United States tends to lag behind currently Europe in their AI regulation. So, curious to think how you feel about this. Do you think he should have vetoed it? Do you feel like there needs to be more fleshed out? And do you feel that, well, Europe seems to be doing all right, we should have some sort of regulation on AI on our side? And of course, we know that these things, from idea to formation to getting approval to getting all worked out to finally getting signed into law, that process takes quite a long time. So, is it going to be too late, or maybe they should have AI help with this process as well? I don't know, just saying. All right, let's continue on though. And this, I think, is kind of fun because we are talking about mortgage rates. Mortgage rates, very important. And I know you might think mortgage rates, do I really need to know? I'm not being not maybe I'm not in the market for buying a house or what, but I think it's important to know once in a while where it stands, because this actually I think is interesting. Mortgage rates are actually down over a full percentage point from last year. That's big because there's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines looking to purchase or looking to refinance. This was shared by Molly Grace on Business Insider. In fact, rates as of like last week slash this week are averaging about 5.8% for a 30-year fix, which is down significantly from over 6% just a year ago. Now, the 15-year fix, though, is down even more so at about 5.07%, which does allow for those who are looking, just for shorter term lending and to reduce that rate, giving some opportunities for homeowners to do so. So if you're in market, do know that that is taking place. Now, the next story I want to share with you, I thought was really interesting. And shout out to Curtis on my team for finding this. Is a great one. This is shared on The Verge. Wes Davis is the author to this, talking about how Amazon is launching its first own Shark Tank sort of style uh, project where people who win are going to get to be Amazon sellers. And Amazon is launching what they call it the Buy It Now, a new Shark Tank inspired show. Buy It Now is a JB Smoove hosted show where contestants actually get to pitch their products to a panel of investors and even you, a live audience. Now, the live audience members referred to as the 100 will act as potential customers voting for the products that they like. So you're bringing sort of that live element, social media element, as well as like the show. Reminds me a lot like when I used to work on a television show called American's Funniest Home Videos, where there was sort of like the show and then there was the audience and it all came together and it made it more interactive. And I thought it was more entertaining as well. But here's the thing. They're saying that successful pitches will be sold on a new Amazon storefront and one contestant per episode. This sounds just like America's Funniest Home Videos. One contestant per episode will receive a $20,000 prize, and viewers can actually access the products via QR codes, which will display during the episodes. The show will feature many celebrity judges, just saying, including people like Gwyneth Paltrow and Tony Hawk and Anthony Anderson, as well as Amazon executives. So they're saying they're going to simultaneously launch the Buy It Now store, featuring products from the contestants and celebrity judges, and that the first 3 episodes will premiere this month at the end of the month, October 30th, with a total of 13 episodes airing until January of 2025. Interesting how it corresponds right with the holiday shopping period, right? What a great idea. I guess somebody thought of that. But they're also saying that there will be a companion podcast that will go with this, and they're calling it This is Small Business Behind the Buy. And that's also going to release weekly, which will often give you insights into sort of that entrepreneur business mind process that you're not really getting that's from behind the scenes. That could be fun. I can see people enjoying that as well, right? Like learning like what was discussed, what are challenges, and like more to the story rather than just what you're seeing, which I'm guessing they're more focusing on delivering sales rather than burning some of those though that time storytelling, which probably they could add into the podcast. So very cool. I'm gonna look forward to seeing that. It should be fun. Not to mention, I think that's something my kids might enjoy seeing, but we'll have to make sure they don't spend too much either, right? Because sometimes you get like you fall in love with the store and you want to buy the item. I know. All right, let's continue on talking about a new product that looks really interesting. Is Meta's Orion glasses. Now, we've talked about AI. We've talked about like this new Amazon show, and we're talking about more aspects of giving you a glimpse of the future. So, Meta's Orion glasses this was shared on Axios and talking about how these glasses are going to bring augmented reality to life for you, which is they're going to be overlaying digital information onto the real world, similar to Apple's Vision Pro, but in a more lightweight glasses like form. I think we can agree, like that technology is cool, but no one's gonna like walk around with this big headset, right? Like I said, I mean, when Greg and I used to talk about it on In the Loop, we were saying this is cool, but like who's gonna do this? Only place you're gonna do this is maybe sitting in your living room by yourself because you're gonna feel kind of ridiculous wearing this stuff. So they're saying that the glasses though will now connect wirelessly to a pocket-sized computer. Again, I feel like this needs to be built into the phone because are you gonna like carry a phone and a pocket-sized computer? I mean, I feel like my husband would because he's like full on techie and a little geeky that way. But I don't know that most of us would do that. But then you'll also have a wristband that detects subtle gestures like pinching. I don't know about you, I don't go around pinching. But anyway, subtle gestures like pinching, allowing intuitive control of digital elements. So they're saying this eye tracking technology will also enable users like you and I to select objects by simply looking at them, looking at a dog, looking at a building, a restaurant, providing sort of a seamless interface for tasks such as video calls and social media browsing and even playing games. I feel like this is something, again, that you should be sitting down to use, right? If you're going to be playing games, probably not good to be walking or even running unless you're on a track. Social media browsing as well. But so one standout feature they said is AI integration, where the sort of glasses help you interpret what you're seeing, your visual input, ingredients on the table, providing real time suggestions or recommendations on what you can do with that. Now, I love that. Imagine you like wear it in front of your refrigerator and it scans what you have and it says, hey, you can make this. And then I will tell you like what to do. Now, I would love it if it would tell me what to do and then there would be a robot that would actually do it, right? Because let's be honest, like I'm imagine like going over your refrigerator like and it gives you all these things that the measure all the stuff and you're pooped from work. That's not something you enjoy doing. But bring on the robot. When are we gonna get that cooking, cleaning robot that we've been promised? But nonetheless, Meta envisions that this is going to be the foundation of future AI-driven experiences. So we're looking forward to it. And hopefully, this turns out great. But for those of you, if that's something on your shopping list or you're going to be picking that up, definitely send me a message, send me a video. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to see that. Maybe we'll even feature it on a future show here. But let us continue. All right. And like, oh yeah, and I apologize. It was pronounced Orion. My bad. But CNN is introducing a paywall in major digital news, and there's sort of a shift. And this was shared on the Hollywood Reporter. And I want to know how you feel about this. Let me just say, like, remember in the days, I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, there was like free television. Like you could actually just turn on the box and you could see TV shows and there'd be commercials every so often, but you sort of just assumed that there'd be commercials. So you just kind of like it wasn't such a big issue. But then cable TV came about and you didn't have commercials and then you were paying for that and you were sort of okay with it, but it's still expensive. And then streaming came along and that promised to be less expensive and more customizable. And now it's going full circle. And then now there's a paid version and there's a less paid version and does have ads or doesn't have ads or product placements and all these things. But now they're talking about news. Now, there's been a lot of shift with news. Like back in the day, I remember my dad would sit on the kitchen table almost every day and read the Los Angeles Times from front page to the last page. And it was like cluttered with articles and recipes. And he loved the sports section. But then it was also cluttered with a lot of advertising, which we know is not only did he actually enjoy reading some of the ads, but also that helped offset the cost of producing the newspaper. Of course, that changed quite a bit because as we went to the internet, we also wanted on demand news. And of course, we know that the articles are also cluttered with advertising. But let's be honest, how much of the advertising on that news article are you even looking at? For me, honestly, not much, right? So, how are publications and news outlets supposed to make money? Well, places like CNN are now launching a digital paywall. Now, you've seen this on other platforms like the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, like many places have digital paywalls, especially for that premium content that you might want to access. But now on its website, it's trying to develop a more sustainable digital subscription model. Now, this initial subscription price is going to be $3.99 per month or about $30 a year, which will then grant you unlimited access to CNN's articles. But they're still going to give you free access for things such as live blogs, breaking news, which we know is so important, videos, interactive content, and whatnot. So there's still sort of freemium, and then there's a paid platform, right? So then subscription benefits are going to include exclusive election coverage, original documentaries, and other things. I think New York Times does this as well. So this moves sort of in that direction where, if you want news, you want the good information, you also have to pay for it. And because we can see now that advertiser dollars can't sustain their platforms. So other outlets such as Reuters have also recently announced their own paywalls. And so it's just on going on. But that's the thing. Now, I get that they need to make money, and I think you agree as well. But how much is too much? And are you then limiting yourselves to just one outlet of information? Because one of the beauties of having the internet, especially platforms where we can access news from multiple platforms, is that you're getting different sort of opinions, different perspectives, and that helps you generate your own opinion on things that are important. Now, will it and how does it change if you're paying for specific platforms and all your content or information is coming from certain sources? And most importantly, does the average American household then choose to pay for content? Or will they simply say, you know what, then I don't need that content. I'm just going to get it somewhere else. And what is that something else? And is it as reliable as these paid outlets? And at what point is too much too much? And one of the things I used to subscribe to, I will tell you, I don't right now, but I'm thinking about it, is I used to subscribe to Apple News Plus. And that was nice because for one monthly amount, you would have access to a lot of different financial, or in my case, financial publications, but a lot of different publications. There were some that you still had to pay for, but you also got quite a bit for free. Now, do is the sort of aggregate news monthly publication fee thing more reasonable than just one outlet? That's my question to you. Love to hear your thoughts on that. Okay. So let's continue on. I want to talk about also, I thought this was a cool story. This was shared on Apple Insider. I found this and I had to share this with you because this is one of those feel good stories. Okay. So this was shared this week talking about, get this. So in Connecticut, someone had their car stolen. And I'm not talking about just any car. We're talking about a Ferrari 812 GTS that was worth 575 measly dollars only. Yes, so in Waterbury, Connecticut, this was stolen. And get this. So, you have a car like that stolen. What, I've talked to my kids about this. And we're like, I would think that would be one of the hardest cars to steal just because it's such a look at me type of car and it's such an expensive and such a rare car on the road that you would think that would be very easy to track. Well, like there's so many, like if you're going to steal a car, like there's so many other cars that have multiple variations of the same car, right? Like for example, the car I drive, I think there's like tons of them just on my street. But nonetheless, this car was stolen. But get this is how they tracked it down. Well, the owner actually forgot their Apple AirPods. So the AirPods location was being tracked using the Find My app, which then helped the police find the car near a gas station. They were probably driving too fast, needing gas. So during their attempted recovery, the suspect fled, of course, but left behind his iPhone, which allowed then the police to identify him as a 22-year-old suspect and a sort of repeat offender of stealing vehicles. And he was later apprehended driving, you guessed it, a stolen Acura, which then also brought him into custody. So this just highlights sort of the power of these tracking devices, namely Apple's devices like AirPods and iPhones and things like that, that these can be key tools in tracking stolen property, similar to the use of air tags and theft recovery. So I'm going to say that if you're listening to this story, you might want to just put an air tag in your vehicle, knowing this, right? I'm pretty sure my husband has them in all our cars, and and I have no idea where they are, so I guess it's good a hiding place. But I mean, I think it's good to have them in the vehicle. That way, if someone steals your car, and one thing that we've done before is once when we had to valet our car at the airport, I remember that we were actually in the airport sitting with the kids and tracking where the car was going just for fun. So it's helpful. It can be valuable. So something to think about. Now, lastly, of course, just a story that came out recently, and this is on CNBC, talking about how 23andMe, if you gave your DNA to 23andMe, just be on the lookout because, there were some issues there. But also, believe it or not, the entire board has resigned. 95%, there's a lot of changes at 23andMe. The CEO, of course, was surprised and disappointed, But hopefully they have a comeback and things will get a bit better. But now they're seeking a new independent uh, board directors to replace their entire resigning board members. So I just put out there. So if, you are with 23andMe and you're looking for a band member, hey, maybe we can talk. Be really interesting to see what's going on and learn more about how we can make things better. With that, thank you so much, my friends, for being here. Sadiq, it is wonderful to see you also on YouTube Live. Hello, Frederick, on Facebook Live as well. Wow, I see so many of you joining. Thank you so much, Modern Mom, for being here. So many friends from all these different platforms. Thanks so much for making the time to be here, and it's great to be back. Welcome to today's show, of course. And do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. And if you do share the show on social, make sure to tag at Winnie Sun so I can properly thank you. Like, thank you so much, Joshua, for all that you do for the show. Appreciate you so much. I'll see you again this week. Have a beautiful day and take care. Be well. Bye bye now.